policies of Vritrasura. So, chapter summary. This chapter describes Vritrasura's great qualities when the prominent commanders of the demons fled, not hearing Vritrasura's advice. Vritrasura condemned them all as cowards. Speaking very bravely, he stood alone to face the demigods. When the demigods saw Vritrasura's attitude, they were so afraid that they practically fainted, and Vritrasura began trampling them down. Unable to tolerate this, Indra, the king of the demigods, threw his club at Vritrasura, but Vritrasura was such a great hero that he easily caught the club with his left hand and used it to beat Indra's elephant. Struck by the blow of Vritrasura, the elephant was pushed back 14 yards and fell with Indra on its back. King Indra had first accepted Visvarup as his priest and thereafter killed him. Reminding Indra of his heinous activities, Vritrasura said, "If one is a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, and depends on Lord Vishnu in every respect, then victory, opulence, and peace of mind are all inevitably available. Such a person has nothing for which to aspire in the three worlds. The Supreme Lord is so kind that he especially favors such a devotee by not giving him opulence that will hamper his devotional service. Therefore I wish to give up everything for the service of the Lord. I wish always to chant the glories of the Lord and engage in his service. Let me become unattached to my worldly family and make friendships with the devotees of the Lord. I do not desire to be promoted to the higher planetary assistance, even to Dhruva Loka or Brahma Loka, nor do I desire an unconquerable position within this material world. I have no need for such things." Text 1. Shri Shura Uvacha Tera Evam Santato Dharmam Vacha Pacho Achetasa Daiva Ninanta Sampranta Palayana Paramripa. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, "O King, Vritrasura, the commander-in-chief of the demons, advised his lieutenants in the principles of religion, but the cowardly demoniac commanders, intent upon fleeing the battlefield, were so disturbed by fear that they could not accept his words." Text 2 and 3. Visiryamanam Pritanam Asurim Asurashavam Kalanu Kulais Tridashai Kalyamanam Anatavat Drishva Tapjata Samkrudar Indasat Amarjahan Tanni Yamu Tisarajan Nirva Setam Uvachahan. O King Pariksit, the demigods, taking advantage of a favorable opportunity presented by time, attacked the army of the demons from the rear and began driving away the demoniac soldiers, scattering them here and there as if the army had no leader. Seeing the pitiful condition of his soldiers, Vritrasura, the best of the Asuras, who was called Indra Satru, the enemy of Indra, was very much aggrieved. Unable to tolerate such reverses, he stopped and forcefully rebuked the demigods, speaking the following words in an angry mood. Text 4. We have it on the board. So, Kim Va Charitai Matu Gavabhi Stataha Asai Na Pitavadaha Kimba Ucharitai Matur Kimba Ucharitai Matur Kimba Ucharitai Matur Kimba Ucharitai Matur Lavapi Pristato Hatai Lavapi Pristato Hatai Lavapi Pristato Hatai Lavapi Pristato Hatai Nahi Pita Vadashlagyo Nahi Pita Vadashlagyo Nahi Pita Vadashlagyo Nahi Pita Vadashlagyo Ashvargya Shuramaninam Ashvargya Shuramaninam
Nasvarya Shuramaninam
Kimva Ucharitai Matur
Kimva Ucharitai Matur
Davadvi Prishtato Hatai
Avadhi Krishtato Hatai
Nahi Pita Vadashlagyo
Nahi Vita Vadashlagyo
Nasvarya Shuramaninam
Nasvarya Shuramaninam Kimva Ucharitai Matur Kimva Ucharitai Matur Avadhi Krishtato Hatai Avadhi Krishtato Hatai Nahi Pita Vadashlagyo Nahi Pita Vadashlagyo Nasvarya Shuramaninam Nasvarya Shuramaninam Kimva Ucharitai Matur Kimva Ucharitai Matur Avadhi Krishtato Hatai Avadhi Krishtato Hatai Nahi Pita Vadashlagyo Nahi Pita Vadashlagyo Nasvarya Shuramaninam Nasvarya Shuramaninam Kimva Ucharitai Matur Kimva Ucharitai Matur Davadvi Prishtato Hatai Davadvi Prishtato Hatai Nahi Vita Vadashlagyo Nahi Vita Vadashlagyo Nasvarya Shuramaninam Nasvarya Shuramaninam Kim
What is the benefit?
What is the benefit?
For you.
For you.
Ucharitai.
Ucharitai.
With those like the stool.
With those like the stool.
Matu.
Matu.
Of the mother.
Of the mother.
Tavadvi.
Tavadvi.
Running away.
Running away.
Krishtata.
Krishtata.
From the back.
From the back.
Atai.
Atai.
Killed.
Killed.
Na. Not.
Not. Certainly.
Pitavadaha.
Pitavadaha.
Killing of a person who is afraid.
Killing of a person who is afraid.
Slagya.
Slagya.
Glorious.
Glorious.
Na. Nor.
Nor.
Svargya.
Svargya.
Leading to the heavenly planets.
Leading to the heavenly planets.
Shuramaninam.
Shuramaninam.
Of persons who consider themselves heroes.
A person who consider themselves heroes.
Translation. All demigods, these demoniac soldiers, have taken birth uselessly. Indeed, they have come from the bodies of their mothers exactly like stool. What is the benefit of killing such enemies from behind while they are running in fear? One who considers himself a hero should not kill an enemy who is afraid of losing his life. Such killing is never glorious, nor can it promote one to the heavenly planets. Purport. Ritasura rebuked both the demigods and the demoniac soldiers because the demons were running in fear of their lives and the demigods were killing them from behind. The actions of both were abominable. When a fight takes place, the opposing parties must be prepared to fight like heroes. A hero never runs from the field of battle. He always fights face to face, determined to gain victory or lay down his life in the fight. That is heroic. Killing an enemy from behind is also inglorious. When an enemy turns his back and runs in fear of his life, he should not be killed. This is the etiquette of military science. Ritasura insulted the demoniac soldiers by comparing them to the stool of their mothers. Both stool and a cowardly son come from the abdomen of the mother, and Ritasura said that there is no difference between them. A similar comparison was given by Tulsidas, who commented that a son and urine both come from the same channel. In other words, semen and urine both come from the genitals, but semen produces a child, whereas urine produces nothing. Therefore, if a child is neither a hero nor a devotee, he is not a son, but urine. Similarly, Janagya Pandit also says, what is the use of a son who is neither glorious nor devoted to the Lord? Such a son is like a blind eye which simply gives pain but cannot help one see. Okay, text 4 was Kimba Ucha Vitai Matur Dava Bi Pritato Atai Nahi Pita Vadash Labyo Asvarya Shuramanam. O demigods, these demoniac soldiers have taken birth uselessly. Indeed, they come from the bodies of their mothers exactly like stool. What is the benefit of killing such enemies from behind while they are running in fear? One who considers himself a hero should not kill an enemy who is afraid of losing his life. Such killing is never glorious, nor can it promote one to the heavenly planets. Om Magyanatamrandasya Gandana Salakya Chakshanatam Yena Tasmai Sri Buddhabe Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachanam Pandum Langati Grim Yakriba Taraham Vande Suprudinatanam. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nami Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravam Krishnaya Vishesha Shunyavadi Pastyachari Tithane Vancha Kalpasadubhyascha Kripasudhyayavacha Patitanam Devi Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So here we continue this amazing this amazing history of Vritrasura, Indra and Vritrasura. Well, already mentioned, it's a unique narration found in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's not in any other Purana, I've been told. Many of the pastimes which we are hearing here in the Bhagavatam, they are also in other Puranas with different, there might maybe different details that are different. And some Puranas mention one thing which is not mentioned in others, but many of these pastimes, they appear in many different Puranas. But as I understand, this pastime of Vritrasura, Indra Vritrasura, is unique to the Bhagavatam. Indeed, it's one of the characteristics mentioned about the Bhagavatam. It's in the beginning of the first canto where Prabhupada discusses the authenticity of the Bhagavatam. He says that there's someone who says it's a more recent creation by someone named Bobadeva. And Prabhupada, he counters that with different arguments and references. And one of the references that the Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned, I believe, is in the Matsya Purana, which is one of the oldest Puranas, and that also has a reference to the Bhagavatam. And they had said that this Purana has a story of Vritrasura. So this is particularly in the Bhagavatam, and it's a very paradoxical pastime, and Vritrasura is a very paradoxical personality. Very, at first hard to understand, but as one really starts learning about Vritrasura, one suddenly discovers he's a Mahabhagava, he's one of the greatest devotees in the pages of the Bhagavatam. Although he has a body of a demon, but he is much greater than the demigods. He's much greater than Indra, with whom he is fighting. And this is what is actually being revealed now. It's coming out. And to this point, the demigods, and we also thought he was just a demon. He was just an ordinary demon, abominable, despicable, horrible demon. Now we see here, suddenly, who is this great personality? We see in this verse it's being revealed. Suddenly he shows his character. The demigods have lost, actually all their respectability. And the demons also. The demons, they were running from the battle, afraid of their life. This is not heroic. Heroes don't turn their backs when their life is threatened. They fight and they die. That's a real hero. And also real, fighters of character. They don't fight against someone who's running in fear. That's dogs. They do like that. Dogs are great cowards. When they will bark when there's no danger to themselves. When they have a big master, then they can stand behind his legs and bark at anyone. Or if it's a weaker person, then they'll jump on that weaker person. I saw that in Mayapur, how there was one dog that was lying. Someone was sick or something like. I think it was a female dog, maybe about to give birth or something. And then the other dogs came and started harassing and barking and biting at this dog and like that. This dog could not defend itself. So this is dogs. And real fighters, they're not like dogs, but here also the demigods, they're more or less just behaving like dogs. The demons are fleeing away, they're running away. They're already lost, and they lost all respectability. But they're still the demigods. They start killing them indiscriminately. So this is actually completely abominable. And then you see, in the middle of the whole thing, in the middle of all this disgraceful affairs, and suddenly he really steps. Is that English? Steps into character. Is that English? You say that? You say that in Danish? Træder i karakter. He suddenly now shows his real character. He says, demigod, stop. If you are, if you want to fight, fight against someone worthy to fight. These demons are not worthy of you. You fight against me. I'm here. I'm not running anywhere. You just come and face me. And so that is so. Of course, the demigods, suddenly going to be shocked seeing Vitusura acting like that, and now they're going to become really scared. Of course, the next verses they will narrate that. And Vitusura, he's such a glorious personality. I mean, he's not afraid of. Actually, he knows he'll die. It has already been predestined that because the thunderbolt that Indra has gotten from Dadichi will kill him. That was Vishnu's promise. So it's obvious it's going to happen. But that doesn't mean that Vitusura has any fear of anything like that. He simply knows I'm somehow placed here to fight, so I have to fight until to death. That's all. This is a glorious. And of course, he knows that by doing this, by performing my dharma. This is what Vitusura, all the great personalities, they're simply performing their dharma, and no victory will come. And victory will come from Vitusura. He'll be killed, but he'll be victorious. He will go home back to Godhead, giving up his abominable body, and doesn't have to stay back and rot in the material world. Indra will gain him. He will kill Vitusura. He will be declared the victor. He will be victorious. He will again regain the heavenly planets to remain back in the material world to rot in repeated birth and death. So he'll actually be the loser. Because that's one of the themes in this pastime here. that actually the real victor will be Vitasura. And of course, after that we'll hear more about who actually Vitasura really is, because Maharaj Pariksit, he's also weak, and he is immediately, being, completely surprised by this character of Vitasura. He acts like a demon, but actually he's a great devotee. Who is he? And then Shukadeva Goswami will, of course, take the opportunity, and then he'll narrate the history of his previous life as Maharaj Chittaketu, who was a great king and a great devotee, and he became the king of the Vidyadharas and was enjoying great heavenly opulence while being a great devotee at the same time. But then, by some arrangement, he was cursed by Mother Parvati to become a demon, and that's, we'll hear as a example. This is the first part, isn't it? Is there a third part? So there must be a third.
Yes, this is the third part.
Yeah. There's a life of Maharaj Chittaketu. It's not in this book here. So that's all, and that takes up quite a large part of the sixth canto. But here right now in this verse here, suddenly now we actually seeing, it's been revealed actually what a personality Vitasura he is, and he is he's absolutely glorious, and he's also instructing the demigods. It's also interesting to see that he's fighting like anything. At the same time, his mind is completely clear, fixed in transcendental knowledge, and is instructing. While fighting, he's instructing the demigods, and a little ahead, you see also his person instructing Indra. They will be fighting, and as we heard in the chapter summary, there will be the instance when Indra, he throws his club at Vitasura, but Vitasura just grabs it like that and throws back at Indra and his elephant, and the elephant is knocked over and pushed back 14 yards. Trying to 14 yards is like, what's that? 40 meters, 12 meters. Not blown elephant like that. That was a real blow, and elephant was there. His mouth was bleeding. His tusks and teeth had been knocked out. And he was shocked, and Indra was shocked, and they were just paralyzed, looking there at Vitasura and didn't know what to do. At that point, then Vitasura will start instructing Indra. Get up, fight! Just like Krishna instructs Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, then Vitasura is instructing Indra and saying that you should simply, of course, first of all, he's criticizing and chastising Indra for having killed his brother Vishvarupa, but then he instructs and said, you must fight. You simply fight. You fight for the sake of fighting, not being attached to whether you are victorious or being defeated. That's not. You have to fight for the sake of fighting, and that's a mood of the Kshatriyas. And of course, here we hear very much the mood of the Kshatriyas is being again revealed in these verses, and it's actually, we are, of course, a Brahminical society. We also very inspired by the Kshatriyas because they have such great, glorious characters. The warfare that's taking place when real Kshatriyas are there in the Vedic society is glorious, it's wonderful, although war is generally, it's considered, it's not wonderful, but that's modern militia war. That's completely abominable. But actually, when Kshatriyas out there fighting, it's very, I mean, although it's really ghastly, you know, there's death and destruction, and there are, you know, killing, and their bodies being chopped to pieces, and there are rivers of blood where, decapitated heads and arms and legs are flowing down these rivers of blood, and there's screaming, and you know, it's actually, it still has there's a great beauty to it, because it's fought on strong principles. Kshatriyas are fighting, they're fighting until death. They are not turning their back, and they are honoring all the principles. They are, as you know, they're fighting against their enemies, but not in an unfair way. They are always, you know, making sure that it's an equal match. There's equal match, there's equal strength, like bowman to bowman, charioteers to charioteers, elephant riders to horse elephant riders, those who have a club fighters against club fighters, and so on. And if your enemy somehow uses his weapon, then either you just wait until he picks up again, or you throw your weapon, and then you just fight with bare fist like that. It's always equal. Because there's nothing. What is the glory of a victory if it's again, like killing a weak enemy, or killing, even like killing women or children, like that's going on here. What's the glory of that? There's nothing glorious about that. But you fight against someone, a worthy opponent, and you defeat him. That's glorious. And also, never turning your back. That's glorious. It's not being afraid at any moment, and just fighting until death, and keep fighting to the last minute, even though it's obviously defeated. You keep fighting. Kshatriyas are like that. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, so many examples of really great fighters like that. One of the famous examples was Abhimanyu, the father of Maharaj, son of Arjuna, and he was just 16 years old, and he was like a second Arjuna, in some ways even superior to Arjuna. He was so powerful. So in one point, Arjuna, he was somewhere else, and then the Kauravas were attacking the Pandavas with great strength, and it's the danger was imminent. And they say, what to do? Arjuna is not here. And then Abhimanyu stepped forward. I can penetrate into their phalanx. I know how to this kind of formation. This military art is a lot about military formations. The generals, they know how to create different kinds of phalanxes, and which which are very hard to conquer, which are very, very strong. And so this particular formation, Abhimanyu said, I can penetrate into that, and I can scatter them. Let me do it. And of course, the thing, he had learned it from Arjuna how to penetrate that kind of phalanx, but he had not learned how to get out of it, escape it again. But then they agreed, yes, and the Pandavas, we will follow just after you. You get in, and we follow, and then we'll protect you. But then, Abhimanyu said, yes, we'll do it. And he went on his chariot and